All right, welcome to the latest episode of Blood Money. Today we have a very special guest, the one and only Bill Gates. How you doing, sir?
I'm not doing okay. I'm trying to get as many people on the program with microchips. I noticed that there's a lot of pesky peasants around, and I'm just trying to get that all taken care of. And I'm not seeing the results that I need, so I'm out here actually trying to do it. Hands on.
Bill, what went wrong, Bill? What went wrong? Because initially you were talking about everybody on the planet being vaccinated, but that didn't seem to go as planned. Can you tell us what happened there?
Humans are just incapable of following orders, apparently. We tried giving them burgers, we tried giving them airfare, we tried giving them bus fare, and nothing seemed to really seal the deal with everybody. And so I think what happened is that we screwed up and we allowed the internet to we really just wanted to give you guys nothing but pornography and gambling and, clickbait. But then all of a sudden, it's kind of out of hand. You know what I'm talking about. But we're working on that. Soon enough.
I mean, what is coming down the pipeline? What do you have planned next? We hear you saying that there's like a monkeypox virus coming. What do you think's happening?
Coming? What do you mean coming? It's already out. I mean, we think we think it might have some traction lately. We've seen some signs, but there's a lot of things that could be happening right now, and we'll just have to see. And mess around.
I've heard, and correct me if I'm wrong, that monkeypox is primarily spread due to anal sex between men. So first, is that correct? And second, is everybody having anal sex?
Not enough people are having anal sex. But what I think will happen is that once I round up all the dissidents and you guys will go to prison, then the mpox will really get some traction and it will really be ingrained in the population. After that, it's just primarily, yes, a gay homosexual affliction. But we're working on getting it out there. We gotta, those bisexual women, they really got to get out there and do their jobs because that's what I'm paying them to do.
Wow. All right. So let me ask you, Mr. Gates, about 20 something years ago, there was an incident where I believe you were in New York City and somebody threw a pie into your face. Is that when you decided to kill everyone?
No. Yeah, that was a tasty pie. No, my dad taught me all the things about what I should be doing. I've been in this eugenics game. I'm an OG in this. I've been doing this since I was a teenager, helping behind the scenes, talking with Ted, and who do you think radicalized Oprah to be on our side? It might have been me, but, I think humanity is, it's run its course and we're going to have like a better version of people that were not so determined to live, and that's what we're pressing for. That's the goal, is that to remove that determination.
Could you tell us your feelings about a former president, Donald Trump?
He's a tough guy. He was useful at first, but now he's, I don't know, the worm is turned with him. We thought we could totally have him with warp speed. But I think he's gaining a conscience of all things. So, if that's the case, then we'll have to see. But I'm not really a big fan. But all politicians can be bought. We just have to work on the number and how many people have to be involved in the equation. But soon enough, I'm Bill Gates, and I can make things happen.
So, Mr. Gates, let me ask you. Apparently, you were quite often you went to Epstein Island. Could you tell us a little bit about your activities there?
A gentleman never tells, But I would like to say that I was there a lot. So what? He's dead now, so we can just move on, right? I mean, do you think? I mean, it's not the only Epstein. I mean, if you really must know, I don't really care. It's not like you can stop us, but there's more destinations, if you must, call them that. But yeah, I went there a lot.
Mm, mm. What do you think about Kamala Harris?
Which one?
There's
The
more
black
than
one?
one.
Well, there's the black one, which we're really trying to get on our side, but the Indian one has seen what we've done in India, and there might be a problem down the way. So I'm not really necessarily certain, but we're working on mRNA to kind of remove her, you know, resilience towards one and just push her towards the other and just nudge her. But I think she'll work with us very well. I think she'll just be a great member to the team. She's always performed well. Look what she did in California.
What do you say? What do you say to these people? Some of these right-wing people that say that not only did you bring us computer viruses, you brought us now human viruses.
Didn't I? Oh, well, yeah. I mean, I'm a Luciferian at heart, and we realized that the door was wide open to poison people if we just had a smile on our face, because everybody's so trusting and innocent. And so that's because we've put them in front of the television for so long. And after that, they never saw us coming. So and they seem to still not see us coming. It's very strange. You'd think, because if I got punched in the face 30 times, I'd look for that 31st pretty quick, but that's just the general cue. They don't really know.
I mean, do you find that some of these humans are, due to their lesser intelligence, are, let's say, disposable?
Oh no, they're not dumb. They're not dumb. They're fluoridated. Fluoride. I mean, if we just turned off all the valves and just let them be, they would destroy us in a couple days. Really, it's just really not that hard to do the numbers. But so though we have to keep them highly sedated, we have to keep them highly distracted, we have to keep them fighting with each other, and but they're not dumb, and I've met most of my the peasants working here. See, but we have to condition them. See, like things like this right here. This is what I'm working on right now. I'm teaching people to value themselves and how much poo they generate and flush. So right here, did you know that more than half the world uses squat toilets? That's you. You're a bad person because you go to the bathroom. So I have to teach you. I have to show you. So each person uses about 127 rolls of paper a year. Do you really think you're worth that much toilet paper? We can go on, but I just have to keep that message going so that they stand down, because we've really messed them up.
I mean, what do you say to people that say, Bill, perhaps you should mind your own business?
No, well, people that say that, I would say that this is my business. I am a eugenicist. That's my job. I wake up in the morning and click my heels together to make sure that children across the world have less potential and will basically be a net zero. That's what we need, because it's our planet. It's my planet too. And I'm just trying to help.
So, all right, tell me a little bit about what happened in India, that it seems as though the Indian population thinks that you're almost like an Adolf Hitler kind of person. I mean, there's been a lot of nasty things said about
I am a eugenicist, and my dad helped Margaret Sanger. Security's coming out. That's good. Yes. Make sure that these people find their way. Thank you. My dad helped Margaret Sanger influence Hitler and make sure that things happen. And so we're just, good old dad. He's so happy right now. I know he's looking down on me. A big smile on his face.
Wow. All right. So let me ask you this. What is it about our current United States that you would say is problematic to your goals?
The guns. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Well, free speech is a big thing too. to tell you the truth, like if the more and more people talk, I mean, everybody's of course afraid of like an armed rebellion, but I don't really think that could ever possibly happen if they would just start talking to one another. And that's what we got the algorithms and the digital gulags to make sure that they just maintain that, that negative state. So we can take advantage of them over and over and over again. They keep showing up too. It's weird. If you schedule them to show up, they just do it. Like they have to, which they technically don't. But a lot of convincing.
Wow. Do you have anything that you wanted to mention, Mr. Gates, in closing?
Well, misinformation is really harmful. And when I release these bioweapons upon the general population, I pay celebrities to basically toe the line and tell them what you need to know. And so with that being said, sorry, I just wanted to reflect on how wonderful it feels to know that someday, some way, there'll be less and less human beings on the planet. So, with that being said, just game on, humanity, game on, because I'm coming for you. I'm Bill Gates. I've got billions of dollars.
What happened?
Hey, Vim, you're going to have to edit this out, bro, but there's a bunch of cartel members driving through my city.
Are you serious?
Yes, I am serious. They're running those quads and stuff, and they're all running Mexican flags, and they all have fucking baklavas on. Sorry, I should have I was trying to see in the interview, but like once I analyzed the situation, I'm like, no, those are cartel members. Holy shit.
Are you
young
serious?
Military age? Yeah, 100%. Young military age men. There was a guy running one of those cars. So going in both directions right now. There might be like 30 of these cars. Those little quads that you see in the desert.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, a little distracting, but go ahead. I'm ready. I'm ready.
Why don't we continue the interview with Tim now?
Oh, that guy.
You want to do that?
He's so loud though. You really want to talk to him?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Okay, well, give me a second.
Right.
Hey, that's yikes. Sanctuary cities, right? They have consequences.
Wow. So what's the latest, brother? What's the latest with you? I know you've been doing a lot of protesting and stuff.
So to clarify, I don't go here every day, but I try to get here as often as I can whenever I'm not working. If the world wanted to donate on my X page, I would be here every day, and I would definitely make my presence known. So, like all summer long, as long as it's not raining, I'm bringing out the audio equipment. But today we got some rain. I think Bill probably figured out that I was going to be back. And so, but past that, I've just been trying to hammer it on X and just try to make sure that the example of peaceful resistance is at least doing it. I mean, I'm not saying I'm the only one. There's a bunch of us, but there's not enough, right? And so if everybody's like, well, he's eventually going to get arrested. Nope, I'm not going to get arrested because I'm well aware of where I need to be, and I don't need to be in jail. So, but I can still be out there. I can still be in Gates' face, which is a blast. Did you know that Melinda resigned from the Gates Foundation? As I kept bullhorning her interview with ABC, talking about, So, I mean, I'm not necessarily thinking that I had anything to do with that, but I'm not going to rule it out. And if I put it in the equation, then that's huge, because they're actually nervous enough to actually distance themselves from $1 billion organization, right? Because of public outrage. Yeah. And we did a test. I've had a couple people out here, Zoe from my Life in the Thrill Kill Medical Cult. She was out here, and so I was able to finally, because I only go out here by myself usually. I mean, I come out here with others if they show up. But I was sitting in the car across the street, and I could hear everything distinctly from over this sound system that I'm bringing. So the audio, the safety glass or the audio, it doesn't protect them. Everybody's hearing this. And so I think over this summer, I probably have introduced Greg Reese and InfoWars or Dr. David Martin to 10,000 different people that normally wouldn't have heard it, because like if nobody's showing up, then that means that there's a reason. Even though there's like we're out here doing something, are they aware of it? Are they able to like figure out what's happening? I mean, you can you can put whatever you want online, but that's only if the algorithm's going to let it out. And so that being said, I don't know. It's either that or America just decided to hand over their balls to Joe Biden. It's hard to say.
I love the way you put that, dude. I love the way you put that, man. Really amazing work, brother. And this whole Bill Gates thing was brilliant. I'm glad we did that.
Did it work? I don't know. Did it work?
Yeah, I think so, man. I think so. On the Blood Money podcast, we got to switch it up. We're always so serious. So I think it brought a little bit of humor to the game,
Right. Well, the whole thing is that marketing is really powerful, and it's more powerful than common sense. And so that being said, if we can brand Bill Gates to be this piece of shit clown and I can help in that process, then everybody, let's go, because this guy is a nexus point for so much carnage. Actual human beings have died because of Bill Gates. I mean, or maimed, or children are crippled for life because this guy wanted more nickels, right? And we have to stop allowing this mindset to guide our compasses. We're not going by God. We're not going by a survival mechanism. We're not going by anything else other than this brainwash trigger response that we must do this. It's disgusting, and while I'm at it, the fluoride is definitely working. So if anybody wants to get off their ass and get the fluoride out of the water in the United States, RFK, please do that, because it should be completely removed.
But by the way, if I could give a tip there, because this is something that in our offices, we actually have these special filtration devices, not very expensive at all. You could get them from places like Patriot Supply, where it essentially takes out everything, takes out the chlorine. Because when we turn on the taps over here, I mean, it smells like chlorine. It's almost like it's overwhelming, right? So anyway, we do that. We take out the fluoride, and then there's these other products that I would recommend for men, especially, which are estrogen blockers. I could tell you, like,
that's based. So that you guys are selling estrogen blockers.
Yeah, not for real. Because I mean, you're getting hit with this stuff. We've heard so many horror stories. Like at Walmart, their receipts have this coating on there that it feminizes men. The plastic bottles of water, the chemicals in the water, the chemicals in the food. So I mean, if you don't take action, yes, you could become one of these feminized men. And unfortunately, you got to work on this stuff nowadays, because you're getting hit with this estrogen from every single direction, because that's their agenda, to make us all a bunch of weak little men.
Yeah, I mean, with no aggression whatsoever, no ability to perceive threats and danger. That's what they've been doing, and it's obvious that it's working. I mean, it's just super obvious, because everything here is gay in Seattle right now. It sucks, But don't nuke us, okay? Don't think that we should be just like nuked, okay? Because there is a lot of patriots that love their country, but we're all kind of hostages to the economic system that has been built around us. And then we found ourselves after COVID with no road out, so that means we have to get together and we have to build a road. We really do.
Yep. Thank you, Tim, man. It's always a great pleasure to have you on the Blood Money podcast.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Is there anything else you'd like to drop before we wrap it up? I know you mentioned your socials. Is there anything else?
I would like people to encourage that thought of unity and get together and stuff. There's a website called Million Town March. And what that is, it's a concept of a decentralized resistance where we just start having conversations with neighbors about shit that actually matters. Stop the chit chat. Stop talking about the weather. Stop being uncomfortable to talk about the things that I have zero substance to either one of our lives. We have to actually talk about the people that make decisions for ourselves. And I encourage people, because again, if America gave their balls to Joe Biden, Fine. Here's a solution to that where you can have your balls back, but it's going to take more courage because you're not fighting the government. You're fighting your own fear, right?
Yeah.
Because the government is a super easy threat to defeat because all you have to do is look up your rights. But when you have to go talk to another human being about what really truly matters, that's terrifying to tons of people. And so in order for us to actually be a country where we actually have some sort of chance of resistance against what we're facing, we have to be able to talk to one another. So milliontownmarch.com is the place where you can actually think about where you're going to go. And if you actually want to do it, you can just go outside of your street, a parking lot, a park, a random spot anywhere in the United States with a sign saying, let's talk, let's have a conversation. Something creative enough to where it spurs somebody to come over to you and you can actually sink your teeth into them like this. Do you know about chemtrails? Do you know why they're spraying all this stuff? Is there a reason why you think that we should be breathing in aluminum oxide? Because I can't think of a reason either. Things like that.
Totally, man. I couldn't agree with you more. And one of the other things I want to mention is like people seem to be turned off by this kind of political broadcast, political content, political documentaries, things that deal with real life crisis in our world. And what I would encourage people is that a lot of time we go to get entertainment because it provides us a thrill, right? We love watching movies. We love watching shows because it gives us a thrill. Well, if people go on the America Happens website, let me tell you something. You watch our content, like this last thing we did with the Bundy versus Deep State documentary, where somebody was actually, I'll use the word allegedly, even though it's a little bit clearer than that. Somebody was allegedly assassinated, like real life James Bond stuff happening. And people kept emailing me after watching this and texting me saying, this is so riveting. It's more riveting than movies out there. And so what I'm encouraging people to do is change your paradigm, because you get that same thrill from real life subject matter that then will help you to take action in your own life to make your world a better place, as opposed to watching some James Bond movie or some, thriller or whatever with some fictitious villain. We have enough real villains that provide us with a thrill of going after them and exposing them and doing the kind of stuff that Tim here is doing. So why not do that? Why not change our paradigm a little bit? Still get that thrill and fulfillment, but get it from real life stuff that's actionable and actually helps to make a better world for our children.
Absolutely. It's funny that you say that, because this is better than, hold on. Sorry about that. This is better than, because I'm a speed demon. I like to drive fast, but not because it's a rush. But, there's some instances where it does. But this is 100 times better than anything I've ever faced, as far as close to death, as far as any kind of adrenaline rush. I've gone down mountains on mountain bikes. I've taken off brakes with mountain bikes, but this is far funner, because this is a danger. This is a clear and present danger. Imagine Steve Irwin wouldn't, type shit. This is what I feel like, it's, I encourage everybody to tap into that, because you don't know what's going to happen after your brain gets a taste of that really, really good rush, because you're doing something good for your community. And God set aside just a small little tidbit of special molecule to give you that, ooh, that feels good. I think Jones talks about it all the time when he's on air, right? When he's like, ooh, it feels good.
Yeah.
And he's like, you get that rush. And so, I encourage people to do it. All it requires is for everybody to say no. That's it. It doesn't require one bullet, one sword, nothing. You just have to say no. That's it.
Yep. Awesome, brother. Thank you so much for coming on the Blood Money podcast again. And for the viewers out there, definitely make sure you check out AmericaHappens.com. Please check out that latest documentary, Bundy versus Deep State. It's one of the most groundbreaking things out there. Not because of us, frankly, but because we got stuck in the middle of a mind-blowing story. And this lawsuit that this Mike Little guy was working on is very much in line with what Tim and I have been fighting for, and restoring our rights, restoring our freedoms, we the people, making sure we don't lose our First and Second Amendment, which is obviously part of their plan. They've said it multiple times. And so check us out at AmericaHappens.com. And thank you for joining us for this episode. I will see you all on the next episode of Blood Money.
Fuck Bill Gates.